I give every book 5 stars, even if I didn't like it that much. So it seems like I apparently have a really messed up book rating system. And I noticed it because recently I was rating a book and I was like, perfect, 5 stars. And I was like, okay, but does this compare to my other 5-star reads? And I was like, no, those are 6-star reads. And I was like, okay, I think that might not be the best way to go about it, because then what the hell is the point of giving something 5 stars? So I'm going to try to re-rate every single book that I have read that I can remember the plot enough to re-rate it, and see if I can make a much better rating system, and you guys can judge me on it and tell me if I'm doing this really wrong. Because as far as I'm aware, if I have a little bit of a giggle, 5 stars. If you held my attention, that's really hard to do 5 stars. I give you a cookie for trying, for good effort. That's also my problem. I feel so bad because I am like, the author put so much love into this. 5 stars. And I can't keep doing that. I also know that the girlies often use like point systems, and I was like, well, that's so silly, but they were onto something that I wasn't onto. I'm late to the party every single time. So I also want to like put like a little comment or whatever on like the points, like giving them little points, 0.25, 0.50, 0.7, whatever. Because I feel like it kind of does matter now, because I can't differentiate what books I genuinely liked and what books I didn't like. So let's go. I'm gonna start from the absolute bottom. My adulthood reading. Look at me, I'm so grown. This is when I got back into reading, and of course, the god of all romantasy series, we have ACOTAR there. The girly that got me into this shit, and here I am right now. A Court of Thorns and Roses, 4 stars. I'm gonna tell you, I was a big girl for this one. I kept thinking about it. I gave it 5 stars when I started. I was like, this is delicious. And then I got more knowledge, and I was like, okay, we're gonna drop it to 4 stars, but I think it's time to get picky with it, right? I actually don't think that I'm gonna get picky with that one, though, because it is a 4-star read for me, like basic 4-star read. So I keep that one the same. A Court of Mist and Fury is a 5. It's a 6-star read for me. Where do I write that down? Write a review. What am I gonna write for this? Where are the stars? Star. I'm not fucking recording my screen, am I? Mist and Fury, I want to give it a 6 star, so I'm gonna go find the star emoji. Copy. And now we're gonna do 6 stars. I will never feel this way again. Perfect. The way that a ton of people are gonna get random updates from me is so funny. That's not my problem though. Back at it again. A Court of Wings and Ruin. 4 star. Okay, I got frisky with. I got real with it. We're gonna get specific with it. A Court of Wings and Ruin. I liked it a lot, so I just made it 4 stars because it was in Mist and Fury level. But I'm going to do the points now, and I'm gonna give it a 4.25. Is that correct? Is that correct? I'll probably change my rating when I reread the book, because I'm rereading the book, which I will be rereading soon because I miss them. And if they don't want to give me ACOTAR 6, I'm gonna have to just reread it so I can feel something again. 4.25. Is that enough to put? What can I put in it? I know what I'm gonna put. The little noise she makes. Sorry. Whoops. I love this quote. I love this. I love this. He was so bad for this. Have you ever noticed that little noise she makes right before she... This was so fucking petty. Please. This was so damn petty. But he kind of ate with that one. Unpopular opinion, but he kind of ate with that one. Shouldn't have done it, not at all. But let me tell you, for comedic moments, perfect. Next. I like how that's what I got from that book. That's so sad. After Wings and Ruin, I said, I'm gonna dabble in everything the girlies are dabbling in. Icebreaker. And I audiobooked it, and I wanted to die. Nothing wrong with people who do enjoy this book, like pop off girl, good for you, but it made me realize that maybe contemporary romance is just not my thing. I have read Binding 13 since then, which we'll go into at the end of my list, which made me think, okay, maybe contemporary romance isn't all that bad, but I'm gonna tell you, Icebreaker was not my thing. That was my first and only 1-star read. And I think about it with so much pain. Maybe if I reread it, I would like it more, but as of right now, this book just did not do it for me, and I just also don't think it's my style of book. So 1 star, we stay there. A Court of Frost and Starlight. Also like her rating. 3 stars. Why? Did I enjoy that they were doing silly, goofy things? Yes. Do I wish I had more silly, goofy things to read? Like... Start over. I liked that they were getting their little like side plot moment, but I also... No. I wish that I would get a novella book like that for Throne of Glass. That's what I was trying to say. So I do enjoy the fact that we were able to be with them in a space that wasn't just war and death, but it was so boring. longest out of all of the books to read. But then now that everything is over and I have nothing else that I can feel, I am like, take me back. But the book itself, I was like, I love it. So girl, I was kind of bored. But I did like the setup that it made transitioning from Farah's story to Nesta's story. 3 stars. A Court of Silver Flames, no questions asked. I don't care if you hate Nesta, that's actually not my problem. So we're gonna just 6-star it right here. Oh, Oopsies. The way that Nesta is the love of my life. I understand if you don't like Nesta. I didn't say she was kind. I said she was the love of my life. I absolutely love Nesta. I love her story. I love the entirety of that book. I don't actually remember shit that happened in that book except for the fact that Nesta was there, and so was Cassian, who I freaking adore. And we got like more Azru and we got more of the girly pops. So I was just like, okay, this is delicious, delectable, perfection in the making. Delicious. I love Silver Flames. Fourth wing. I have a really big love-hate relationship with Fourth Wing because I love the concept. I'm not the biggest fan of the writing style on it, but I like a good amount of it, but it also was hard for me to get through. Not Fourth Wing specifically, but just like, okay, we're on Fourth Wing first book. We'll get to my criticisms later. Fourth Wing first book was a solid 4 stars for me. I feel like it wasn't ACOTAR level for me, but it was like ACOTAR book 1 level for me. Like it was just, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I remembered the plot, so that's a good sign. And you know what, it was a good book. I did like Fourth Wing a lot. Iron Flame is where we're gonna get into the don't hate me territory. I'm not saying that it's bad that if you liked Iron Flame or not. I'm not saying it was a bad book, but I hated it so much. I read Fourth Wing. I listened to Fourth Wing really fast, and Iron Flame took me like more than a month because I couldn't do it. I don't know what about it, but I feel like that entire book led me nowhere. I was more confused than I was engaged. I feel like I was following them in their journey and I didn't know where I was the entire time. I actually don't even know what we're fighting for. I don't understand the book. And that's not to say that I don't like intense world building and that I don't like complex fantasy, but this one threw me off. And what threw me off the most was that I couldn't even escape in the romance because the romance in Iron Flame pissed me off. Did they have good smut scenes? Yes, sir, the throne. But if they brought up their miscommunication one more goddamn time, I would have thrown the book out the window into a pond. I couldn't do it. I don't understand why they couldn't just speak to each other. And you know, talking to somebody's hard. But the way that they like spoke back and forth, it was literally Violet being like, oh, well, you are keeping secrets from me. And then Xaden being like, well, you're not asking the right question. What does that even mean? What does that even mean, dude? Either of you, grow up. One, Violet ask him questions, and 2, respond to them. Like, he expected her to ask the correct questions as if being like, okay, he pretty much expected her to know what questions to ask, and they were impossible for her to know that she should ask that question. It's like, say I have something that you don't know that I have. Like I have like a very special thing that you don't know that I have. I have a cat. I have a cat and you don't know that I have a cat, and I'm hiding my cat, and you've never seen my cat. I've never spoken about my cat. And then I get mad at you and I tell you, well, why didn't you ask about my cat when you didn't even know that I had a cat? It doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me. Hello, I am recording. But you could have said something. You didn't just have to hang up like that. I love you most, baby. I want to drop this so bad. I don't know how harsh I should be with these ratings because it kind of hurts my soul a little bit, but I feel like I do want to drop it because I actually never want to pick up Iron Flame again, but I'm gonna reread Iron Flame because I was like, maybe it was just me. Like I was starting my reading journey and then I just gave it like bad vibes, and it has 4.37 stars, so I really do think I'm the problem maybe, but 3 stars, I think it's generous. I'm gonna drop it to 2.75. I am so sorry. I don't even know what happened in this book. Is that how you spell reread? How do you spell reread? Reread. Okay, 2.75 from me. That's me being really mean and it kind of hurts my soul just a tad. But it's just honestly, I don't even know. As far as I'm aware, like nothing happened in that book. They went somewhere, got somewhere, people died, and the story ended. And the story ended really good. I actually adored the ending of the story, but that was not enough to hold me. So I'm still putting it at 3 stars though, because I feel like I don't know if that's the way that you should do it. Is it the way that I should do it, or should I put it to 2 stars and then put 2.75? I'm gonna leave it at 3 because I feel like it's closer to a 3 than it is to a 2. Like I wouldn't consider it a 2-star read, so I'm just gonna leave it at a 3, and I think that might be stupid, but that's not my problem. Throne of Glass! Ah! This was the book that actually changed my goddamn life, and I want to give it 5 stars, but I know it's not a 5-star book because the rest of the series is a 5-star series, but I'll give it a solid 4. I want to give it a 4.5, but I know that it doesn't compare. But should I give it a 4.5? I'm gonna give it a 4.5. I think I'm unpopular because I like Throne of Glass more than I liked Crown of Midnight. And seeing by the Goodreads ratings, I'm an imbecile. That's not my problem though. We're gonna change Throne of Glass to 4.5 because if I read that book right now, if I reread this book right now, I will start sobbing. I love them so much. Perfect. 4.5 stars. Crown of Midnight. I'm gonna leave it at 4 stars because it wasn't a bad book, and I wouldn't give any book in this series less than 4 stars because this is my Roman Empire, my Rowan Empire series. I don't know, something happened to me during Crown of Midnight that when they did the really big reveal at the end of Crown of Midnight, I seem to have missed a few pieces of the puzzle, and I fear it didn't hit as hard as I thought it would because I actually didn't even know what was happening. I'm noticing that maybe I'm the problem because the same thing happened in Iron Flame, but I just completely, like, I don't know. But when things went down, they went down. And I actually like this book romance-wise better, unpopular opinion, but I'm gonna keep it at 4 stars because I actually, like, yeah. The Assassins, but 5 stars. I don't care what any of you guys say. I did read it third, so sue me. I don't care what any of you guys say. I love The Assassin's Blade so goddamn much. I feel like Crown of Midnight, I was like, tee hee ha ha, but The Assassin's Blade was like, oh, this is my series. I loved going with her through every little thing that she ever went through and knowing her story and the little Easter eggs that kept popping out. That's why I love it third. Was the emotional impact there as heavy as the people who read it first? Probably not, but the emotional impact actually emotionally impacted me so deeply. I love. Air of Fire started so damn slow. I can't change these. I don't even think I'm making any progress. Maybe later, because it's just Throne of Glass is just like my Roman Empire. See, I can't. Air of Fire started off so damn slow that I wanted to throw myself out of a building. I was like, there's no way I came from Assassin's Blade to this, which again might be unpopular, but it was so boring, so damn boring, and then it just got better, and then it just got better, and then it just kept getting better, and it was just so That ending was the first time that I knew true pain while reading a book. It hurt my soul a little bit and definitely altered my brain chemistry, and the romance in this book was the best romance, the best. 5 stars. I need to reread 5 stars. Queen of Shadows, here we go. My favorite book out of the entire series. Queen of Shadows was the entire goddamn time. 6 stars. Literally the best book I have ever consumed in my lifetime. Rowan wearing scented oil, wearing almond oil. This book was so damn good. The crossovers and the way that this book didn't even stop for a second. From the get-go, I was like, oh, we didn't, relax. We are going to, there's too many slices. It was so damn good. Everything happened in that freaking book. I've never read a book that had so much going on in one place at one time. When I was reading Queen of Shadows, I literally texted my mom and I was like, Mom, I'm going to need to get a Throne of Glass tattoo because this is the best thing I have ever read in my entire life. And I think I'm personally altered until my dying days. Empire of Storms, I would like to say is my second favorite. I know Kingdom of Ash go crazy. I don't know, actually. I don't know if Empire of Storms or Kingdom of Ash are my second. I'm gonna say Kingdom of Ash because I was engaged the entire time, but we're not there yet. Empire of Storms, I was kind of bored for a good part of it in the beginning, specifically because I was tandem reading like an idiot. Good decision, but like, oh my God, I don't even know, like I was mixing stories up. That ending, I was gripping sheets. I was ready to start bawling my goddamn eyes out. It was so freaking that entire, where are our armies? Empire of Storms was so good. I'm not gonna bump it up to 6 stars. I'm gonna leave it, I don't know. Is it a 6-star read, people? Can I do 5.5? Is that allowed on the system? No, I don't think so, right? I'm gonna leave it. Empire of Storms was just so good. Then we have Tower of Dawn. Listen, I love Kale. I love him. I really do. Most unpopular opinion, I couldn't stand a single one of Nestrin's chapters. The way that I had to physically audiobook it every single time, because if I wasn't audiobooking it, I was not getting through Tower of Dawn. It was honestly such a goddamn drag for me. But every time time that I was with Kale, I was like, I'm so happy I'm home. But because half of the book was following Nestrin, and I'm sorry for you Nestrin fans, you guys can enjoy it, I couldn't do it. It was so damn boring for me. That kind of ruined the book for me, so I might drop this one to a 3.75. I love you, Kale. I'm not saying I dislike Nestrin as a character. When she was there before, I genuinely enjoyed her presence, but her chapters were the most boring thing in the entire world. 3.75 feels harsh because the entire 3.75 is going to Kale and only Kale. The 1.25? The 1.25 is being stolen and robbed by Nestrin. I don't want to put 3.75. I love this. I love these books too much to put 3.75. I think I'm gonna have to, if I'm being fully honest. This book didn't fully do it for me. That really hurt my soul in a way that I don't think you'll ever comprehend. Kingdom of Ash, here we go. 6 stars, 6 stars, 6 stars, 6 stars. I have never sobbed so hard over a book in my entire life. I had moments where I was a little like disengaged, but I feel like the way that I cried like a baby after this series ended, I didn't even think that that was possible. This book was so goddamn good. I missed them so much. I wanted a longer ending, but I think the emotional distress made up for the time that we lost. Powerless. I have a problem where I very much follow the hype just a little bit, just a tiny bit, just a bit. Powerless was not 5 stars for me. So I'm gonna just drop it down to 4, but I'm gonna give it a 4.5. It wasn't the best thing that I've ever read. I enjoyed it a lot, but I feel like it wasn't anything that like changed my brain chemistry. But I am gonna be one of the first people reading Fearless. Like I can't wait for that. Powerful. I'm gonna keep it at 4 stars. It did hurt my heart a lot. And then I kept thinking about them and then I kept getting sad because it was genuinely such a heartbreaking story. And I was like, wow, why would you do that? But I feel like I wasn't as engaged. It takes me a really long time for me to connect with characters, which is why I read Assassin's Blade 3rd. Thank God for me, not for you. As heartbreaking as Powerful was, I did not shed a tear because I need a lot more time to fully care about a character. I can't like make it a 5-star read because I don't know why I'm justifying this. I just know. Reckless, 3 stars. I give it 3 stars blank. Period. The tension was way better in this book than it was in Powerless. The entire time was them traveling from one place to another, and they took the entire book to travel that distance while bantering the entire way through. Banter was great. Plots did not plot for me in that book. Based on all the quotes that she's releasing, I think Fearless is gonna be a punch in the gut, and the ending of Reckless, I was like, huh, Jesus, dude. Jesus. Serpent and the Wolf was the first arc that I ever got, and I had the amazing opportunity to work with the author for some artwork. This book has such a special place in my heart. I love this book. I love this book so much. I'm gonna put it as a 4.5 because I feel like there's space to grow in the next book, and I feel like the next book is where it's gonna kick off, so then I wouldn't rate this one 5 stars if the next one's gonna be, you know what I'm saying? Like I want some type of differentiate. I'm trying here. So 4.5 stars. Haunting Adeline. This was my first dark romance. I'm not a fan of non-fantasy books, so I struggled a little bit with it, but I'm gonna leave it straight as 4 stars, no other words, because I feel like it did things to my brain chemistry that I'm not comfortable addressing. I look at this book with so much disgust, and I loved it. I give 4 stars. I give 4 stars. It was a good 4 stars for me. Hunting, I'm also gonna leave it at 4 stars. I do think Hunting was better than Haunting, so actually I'm not gonna leave it at 4 stars. We're gonna bump it to 4.25 because the plot was plotting. I think the plot moved a lot more in this one, so I was a bit more engaged because it wasn't just like them doing them things. It got really like good stakes, and I was like, okay, we're getting kind of freaky with it, but we're getting kind of freaky with a purpose. Shatter Me. Shatter Me was the other series that changed my brain chemistry extremely. My three boys that changed my brain chemistry: Akatar, Throne of Glass, and Shatter Me. I'm so incredibly late to the Shatter Me wagon, the Shatter Me train. But Aaron Warner is the love of my life, period. Aaron Warner is the love of my life. I have his tattoo right here. Shatter Me, if you didn't know, since I apparently haven't been explaining any of these books at all, what it is just this girl who's absolutely positively insane. And there are powers and stuff, and she's trying to escape because they have her captured like a freaking experiment because she killed somebody. And she writes in her diary, and she's kind of a psychopath. And I actually love this series. But the first book was pretty like, not anticlimactic. I really liked it, but it was book. Shatter Me is gonna be a 3.75 for me. And then I'm just gonna put I miss them. Okay, Shatter Me, I bumped it to 3.75. Destroy Me, people hate it, I guess. But the fact that I was in Aaron Warner's head made me feel like I was home. I was so damn happy. I'm grateful. I'm grateful that I got to be there for a little bit. I love his point of view. It's my favorite, if you will. So Aaron Warner's thing, he's kind of pushy in loving her, even though she doesn't love him at all. And it's really baseless. And I love going into his brain and seeing the way that he connects the dots that just don't make sense for a person. It's like being like, no, he loves me because a flower fell out of his pocket and I saw it and it was meant for me. He was like, she looked at me with disgust. She must be in love with me. I love that, man. 5 stars. Sorry. And it was sad and it made me so sad. And if you didn't like it, nah. Unravel Me. We're gonna bump it down to 4.5. Here's the thing about Unravel Me, and actually the Shatter Me series as a whole, I actually don't know. I binge read it so fast that they started to like mesh together. And I actually don't know what happened in Unravel Me at all. I'm just gonna assume that it's a 4.75 for me because I do know my 5-star rates from this series and I don't think Unravel Me was one of them. It might even be a 4.5 stars. Oh, I put 4. You are so smart. Fracture Me was Adam's point of view. I like Aaron more. 3 stars, 3 stars. I'm not gonna put less because I was so freaking entertained. I'm very easily entertained and this did it for me. Ignite Me. This is when it started getting good. Do I remember what happens in Ignite Me? Not at all. It was getting good. It was getting good. Oh, I remember some minuscule scenes from Ignite Me, and they were so impactful that I almost started sobbing. So 5 stars, 100%, no question. Shadow Me, that is Kenji's novella. 4 stars, I like my man. He's a silly boy. I don't know the difference between both of his novellas, so I'm just gonna 4 stars. 4 stars because I liked him. I liked being with him. He's like a bestie boy, and he's so silly goofy, and I loved hearing him speak and like kind of like overanalyze everything, and I love Kenji. Restore Me. Don't know what happens, 5 stars. 5 stars because I know that like Ignite Me to Defy Me were groundbreaking for me, which brings me to my favorite book from the series, Defy Me. The way that this impacted my soul and I got punched in the face, and the reveal was just, this is a 6-star read for me. This book punched me in the face and kissed my nose. The reveal in that book like actually like threatened to kill me. It was so wow. Wow. People gave Ignite Me more. I don't care. I like Defy Me. Imagine Me though. Imagine Me. I'm gonna leave that at 3 stars because it wasn't bad. The beginning was pretty slow and I felt like the same things just kind of kept happening and we were just kind of stuck, kind of like Reckless, that we were stuck in the same swirl, and then the ending was really, really good. Maybe we could have done without this book, but I'm actually just so grateful to be with my girlies for a little longer. So I'm gonna leave it at 3 stars. Believe me, I'm apparently unpopular for 5 stars for me though. I genuinely cried in that book. I can't say anything because it's a huge spoiler what that book is about. All I can say is that it's in Aaron's point of view and I love being in his brain all the time. Believe Me was 5 for me. That was, yes. Lights Out is a much sillier dark romance. He was so freaking funny. He's a masked TikToker. And she's like a chronic commenter on all of his TikToks. And obviously, like, you know, like the masked TikTokers are kind of like thirst trap. And that is what he does. And then he fell in love with her. And what do you do when you fall in love with a woman? You stalk them, of course. Don't do that. Don't do that. But he was allowed to. Josh was allowed to because Josh is so damn funny. I personally love this book. Like the way that this is like one of the first books that I was genuinely like laughing out loud to. I really, really enjoyed it. I usually go to dark romance to kind of like get away from fantasy for a little bit because it's overwhelming, or like as my audiobook while I'm reading a fantasy book. And Lights Out was just like, I adored it. I adored it. And I'm so excited for the next book, even though I don't remember how Lights Out ended, but it was really good. Little Stranger actually ruined my year. Listen, I gave it 2 stars, but like I put here, it's like a good 2 stars. Like I felt weird with Little Stranger. Pretty much he's mute and he's her stepbrother, but like her foster brother, all I know is that he calls her sis the entire time. Like he could just have stopped calling her that and maybe it wouldn't be that bad. He also had like random psychotic tendencies that I actually just couldn't get behind. I was like, hey dude, just because you saw her speaking to a dude doesn't mean you need to bash his head into the ground. Like I'm just saying, we could communicate. He was kind of a psychopath. This is the book that I've read that makes me the most uncomfortable, that I don't even know what to rate it. I want to rate it 0 stars, but there's something about it that's alluring and it's probably gonna make me read the next book because it's just so weird. It changed my brain chemistry for the worst, but also like I'm really intrigued. So I'm gonna leave it at 2 stars and I'm gonna just like very subtly like scroll past it because Onyx Storm girly pops. I read it the day that it came out, one sitting. For me, it was the best book in the series, no questions asked. I'm gonna drop it from 5 stars to 4.75 just because, wow, I love this book. I really did. I read it in one sitting, but I'm also realizing I don't remember a lot of it. I think I started hallucinating midway because I was reading for so many hours. I don't really know what went on. I think I struggle with Rebecca Yaros's writing, and like I get lost really easily. And I know a lot of people were saying they also got lost, especially as somebody who didn't do like a reread. Lots of characters, lots of deaths. I don't know what's going on, but it was just, I enjoyed the ride. What I can say is that I very much enjoyed being on the train that was taking me to I don't know where, was dropping me off in random places. I was confused the whole time, but I was having a really good time. Violet became much more tolerable to me because I struggled a lot with Violet in the first 2 books, but I liked her. I liked knowing about their lore. I liked getting to know a lot more about Xaden. I liked everything. I don't know what happened, but I liked it all. And that ending for me was just so what the hell. Like, I actually, like, that ending like left me staring at a wall at 3 in the morning, and I was like, there's no way I stayed up until 3 in the morning for this crap. Like, what is going on? I liked it, but I will drop it to 4.75, and I'm hoping the next one's gonna be like a good 5 to 6 star read. I trust it. Divine Rivals is the first historical romance I've read. I'm a big historical romance girly, but kind of like in TV shows. Like, I like historical romance on TV, but I've never really thought about the fact that it could be a historical romance on the page. I'm gonna change my rating to 4.75. I'm trying to give space for my 5-star reads to be like insane groundbreaking books, but I absolutely love this book. Roman Kit jumped up on my book boyfriend list so damn fast because he is the only like sweet boy that I've been like, they are writing letters to each other on a typewriter. They're magic letters and they don't know who they are talking to, but you'll never guess who. It is the person that they're working with who is her enemy in her work environment while the gods are at war. But everything, the yearning and the slow burn in this book was actually just giving me everything. And I really, like, I ate that book up so damn fast, and I'm so glad that I read it this year. No, because Ruthless Vows, which is the second book, I gave a 4.5. This one was more world building, like, centered, which I love, but the world building it didn't have like a ton of like high fantasy depth to it. It's not that it fell flat, but I was just kind of like, okay, slay. Okay, and we won. 4.5. I was just happy to be with my girlies and like go along the way. And the ending, 4-star in a good way. Duology for me. Rose Bargain. I give this book 5 stars. It was another arc that I read that is pretty much the Bridgerton meets The Selection, my fave, and Cruel Prince, which I haven't had a chance to read yet. It's a historical romantasy. The girls who are entering like the marriage market, they have to do a bargain with the queen. But every bargain, you ask for something, they take something. So it's like, I think one of my favorites was, I don't know what she asked for. I'm gonna say longer hair or like a prettier nose, I think, but she could only turn left. So every time she went somewhere, she was just going in circles. You want to bargain for something that's gonna increase your chances of being chosen by like some man to get married. The queen's son is joining the marriage market, which means he's up for grabs. But if the girls sign off to go after her son, if he doesn't pick them to marry in the end, they pretty much can't marry anybody else. They are out of the market, which means if you don't get picked by the king or the prince or whatever, you ruin your entire livelihood, your family's livelihood. You are a disgrace. The way the book just came out, and I read it before it came out, and I'm aching for the second book. And the way that I made you know that I like a book when I make an art piece for it. I couldn't stop thinking about them. I was like reading this book and I immediately was like, this is what I'm making. I love it. Honestly, I'd consider it one of my favorite reads of the year. It was so good, and it's my favorite historical romance right now. Quicksilver. This one might be my favorite one of the year. It's very close between Quicksilver and Rose Bargain, even though Rose Bargain is 5 stars and Quicksilver is 4 stars, which is a little bit like confusing. The reason Quicksilver is 4 stars, I love this book. Kingfisher specifically, with your ugly ass name, bumped down 2 people from my top 5 book boyfriends because I love this man. He was such a good enemies to lovers story. He's so freaking mean, and it was a true enemies to lovers. Like, you're kind of an asshole, man. Like, please keep going. The reason that it's 4 stars for me is because the ending fell short for me. It felt like I was getting so much thrown at me that I was like, whoa, okay, I think we can slow down a little bit. it gave me the vibes of like Throne of Glass, that the first book, they started throwing so much crap at you that you were just really damn confused. And you're like, I don't even know what this shit means. And the next book, they started clearing some things off. And later on, you were like, oh my God. And I have a feeling that's what's going to happen with Quicksilver. And Brimstone, the next one comes out in November. So I'm really excited about it because the concept for Quicksilver was really, really cool. I really like the romance. The smut was smutting. Genuinely adored it. I just got shoes. Because they reminded me of Quicksilver. I'm going to show you my shoes. And I saw these shoes and I bought them actually immediately because they just reminded me of Quicksilver so much that I was like, I need them in my hand. Look at them. Look at them. If you know, can you fucking focus? They have little purple butterflies on them and they're light blue, and it might not look like the regular Quicksilver cover, but I'm gonna compare right now. The originally published cover, which I'm assuming is like the indie cover, is this one. Or it's the discreet cover, which has like the purple butterflies on it, and look at the shoes. Binding 13. I had a really bad time reading Binding 13. For half of the book, I wanted to like throw myself out the window, but the problem is that the second half of the book, I got through it so fast, and I think I'm gonna leave both Binding and Keeping at 4 stars because just the first half of Binding 13 was such a damn drag, and I ended up falling in love with the main characters and everybody, but it took me such a long time to like finally give into it, and it's just, I really enjoyed it. I want to continue the series, but I feel like contemporary romance is just not really my thing. I didn't mind it for like a small refresh, but since I haven't even been reading high fantasy, it kind of just like took me out of a world that I preferred to be in. It's the best contemporary romance to date for me, and I genuinely think Saving 6 and Redeeming 6 are gonna be 5-star reads for me because it's based on a different couple in the series, which is a lot more enemies to lovers type of couple. There's like a lot more like of Another thing is Binding 13, like Johnny and Shannon were very soft girl, and I love them for each other, but it wasn't super like for me, you know what I mean? So again, contemporary romance isn't really my thing, so I think I'm gonna leave those at 4 stars. I don't think I dropped a lot of them, did I? No, I apparently still like everything an even amount. I think that's where I'm gonna stand with my ratings. And if you think that they're stupid, help me make them better. I still feel like I am way too nice with the way that I rate, but maybe like I do better when I give myself some time, because the moment that I read a book, I'm like, this is the best piece of literature I've ever read. I'm so easily entertained. But I feel like when I give myself some time, I can like, a little bit. I just don't really know how I'm supposed to be rating things, because as far as I'm aware, 4 stars is bad. Even though I know it's not, like 4 stars is still really good. And especially on Goodreads, it's hard to have a book at 5 stars. But if you guys think that there is a better system for me rating these books, please help me out and I'll re-rate them again, because I just feel like I haven't read that many books, so that's why I want to try and figure this out now before I start reading a ton of books and suddenly I'm like, oh, this is good literature, like Throne of Glass. I don't want to just be giving out my 5 stars willy-nilly because I had a good silly time. So I think I narrowed it down to a place I am a little bit more comfortable, but I still feel like there's going to be some criticism. So if you want to criticize me, put it down in the comments. But don't criticize me about a book that I like, because that's just rude. Give me what you would rate what each star category is for you, to see if I can kind of like, including the points. What do you use to think about your books? Because I apparently use not a single brain cell. So that's where I stand right now with my Goodreads. If you want to look at them and comment on my ratings and tell me they're bad, you can also go to my Goodreads. I will tell you, I have like a total of 50 books on there. We'll get more this year though, and hopefully that the next reads that I have, I can be a little more conscious of what I give them. But I don't think that that's gonna happen, because as long as I have a little giggle time, 5 stars. I'm gonna be so honest, I don't even know how to close these, so I'm just gonna